This is lesson 3.6 in the applied geometry curriculum. We're going to find the midpoint of any line segment. This does have application, which hopefully you'll see through problem solving. But what I'm really doing here is I've drawn the line segment in red. Here are my two endpoints. This endpoint is at the point ordered pair 2, 5, x2, y5. This one's at the ordered pair 6, 1, x is 6, y is 1. Then there's a proposed midpoint at the point x4, y3, the ordered pair 4, 3. And we're going to prove that that's the midpoint. Sometimes, if it's laid out nicely on a graph with all your grid lines, you can see the midpoint of a line segment. Usually, if you're asked to find the midpoint of a line segment, you're going to use the formula. And even if it is shown on a graph, you can still use the formula, and it's more precise. You can't always tell for sure where things are crossing on a graph, because things happen more randomly in real situations. So most likely you're going to use the formula. The formula is really this. I set it up to look like an ordered pair because I'm going to end up with, the answer is going to be an ordered pair. And I find the x value of the ordered pair by adding the x values of the two endpoints, which we'll call x1 and x2, divided by 2. You can see that's actually an average because I'm adding two numbers dividing by 2. So I'm finding the average of these two x coordinates. The second part of it, I'm finding the average of the two y coordinates. I add y1 and y2, divide that by 2. Two numbers divided by 2 is an average. Let's do the calculation real quick now. So x1, and I could choose any of these to be my point 1, it doesn't really matter, is, I'm going to close it in the parentheses, 2, plus my second x value is 6, average those. My y values are 5, my second y value is 1, divide by 2 to find the average of those. And then I finish the calculation. 2 plus 6 is 8 over 2. 5 plus 1 is 6 over 2. A lot of times you can do these in your head, but I always caution people when you start to do things in your head, maybe when you start to make mistakes, so be careful with that. So the midpoint is in fact the point 4, 3. So we had it right on the drawing. Now just for the sake of repetition, let's do one without a graph, only given the 2 points, because this is often how it's going to happen. So my 2 points are -3, -6. And that's 1 point. The second point is 5, 4. And let's find the midpoint. So that would be the endpoints of a line segment that was given to me. Now let's find, using the formula, the midpoint. So the formula, I take my x values, x1 and x2, so -3 plus 5 divided by 2. You can get these out of order. It's going to come out the same. In most of these formulas, you have to pay attention to the order. In this one, you don't. So it's a lot easier to get it right without making mistakes. Put your parentheses around because it's going to be an ordered pair. And then my y values are -6 and 4. So -6 plus 4 divided by 2. Let's finish the calculation. -3 plus 5 is -2 over 2. -6 plus 4 is also -2 over 2. So my midpoint is -1, -1. So that's the midpoint of the line segment with those 2 points as endpoints. Hopefully you'll go and do several practice problems at this point and have this down. Pretty easy calculation, an easy one to get right.